Hey, this is Mike Bradley with Lightheart Labs, and today we're going to tune a system prompt for a local LLM. One of the things you're going to notice when you start hosting models locally instead of in the cloud is your local models don't sound like the cloud models that you're used to. And there's a very good reason for that. Inside all of our local models, there's a field here called system prompt. System prompt essentially tells that model how to speak, how to behave, how to answer you, the language style it should take on, the way that it should write and answer questions. And that comes by default blank when you're first interacting with these things. So let me show you real quick what that difference might look like. If I ask it a question like, I say, tell me about HVAC, and I reach out to ChatGPT and say, tell me about HVAC. They're going to give me two wildly different responses. So ChatGPT is giving me kind of a nice, lightweight conversational response, a little more human, a little more approachable. And my local model essentially gives me like an ASHRAE manual, which isn't bad. It's a heck of a lot of information. It's still telling me about HVAC. But that might not be what we're used to. That might not be what we're actually looking for when we ask our LLMs a question. So what I'm going to show you how to do today is how to tune the system prompt for your local LLM so it behaves like normal ChatGPT or Claude when you're using it. So that takes some of the edge off of getting used to these local models. So I'm going to start over here in ChatGPT, and I'm just going to give it a basic prompt. We are going to tune a system prompt together for a local LLM. I'll give you a prompt and it a prompt, and we will analyze the difference in answers. And you will help me create and refine a system prompt that gets it to sound more like you. Pretty simple, right? So it knows I'm going to ask it a question, and I'm going to ask the other model a question. I'm going to paste both answers inside this chat, and then it's going to look at the other model's answer and go, okay, we need to change this a little bit, for it to get a little more in harmony with how I'm answering. So with that, let's check it out. Let's give it a current system prompt. So it's going to tell me about HVAC here with its answer. I'm going to take my tell me about HVAC answer that this model gave me and feed that in here. So already ChatGPT is analyzing the way that this model answered versus the way it answered, and then giving feedback and going, okay, here's where it's good, here's where it could use a little work, here's where it could use some refinement. So it's giving me a draft system prompt, and I can take that. I'm going to put it into my system prompt for this local LLM. So here I'm using OpenWebUI. For OpenWebUI, under Settings, you go to Admin Settings, Models, Edit, and then you've got your System Prompt tab. If we were inside LM Studio, you would just go to your Models section, go into Settings, and System Prompt there. So I've now given it the system prompt that GPT gave me. We're going to test that now again. Now we're going to see how it responds to this one, and then we're going to re-output that to GPT to show it how it changed with the new system prompt. Okay, it's taking that feedback again. What's still off? What could be improved? And now it's giving me a retuned system prompt to alter again. So as you can see, this is kind of the process. You're going back and forth, just tweaking the system prompt, reprompting, sending the output back to the model here. And then the model's looking at it and going, okay, a little more salt, a little less pepper, a little less verbose in the way it's speaking, a little less robotic, a little more human. And it's just dialing it in so its prompts start sounding more and more like the cloud models that you're used to. So here again, I'm just swapping out the system prompt for the one that it gave me. And now I'm going to prompt it again with the same question. Tell me about HVAC. You can slowly see it turning into an output that looks more and more like what ChatGPT was outputting. It's getting a little shorter. It's getting a little more human, a little more conversational each time. Now it's giving the feedback. This is very, very close. Nicely done. Warm intro, guiding voice, flow and transitions, human metaphors, what's still off. And now it's giving me another prompt revision. Go back. Settings. Admin. Models. You can kind of see the process. I'm really just mirroring these two off of each other, getting them to slowly approach the behavior of each other. I'm using a known good model that a lot of people are used to interacting with, and I'm using that as the judge and the benchmark of how close we've gotten on behavior and just bouncing it back and forth. A lot of people focus on things like fine-tuning and training models once they start doing local AI, but I don't think anywhere near enough people pay attention to just proper system prompts and getting things to behave just because they have good instructions. So again, tell me about HVAC. It's giving feedback. Paste here, right back into my original model. So at this point, you can see we're about 92 to 95% of the way there, where it's really starting to look like the other model, the way it's responding and acting. This is the process, and you could do this with anything. Right now, I'm doing this with GPT OSS 120B running locally on my computer, but I could do this with Quen, I could do this with Llama, I could do it with anything. All you're doing is you're taking the local model that you're running, finding a model that behaves the way that you would like this model to behave, and then you're just bouncing them back and forth off of each other until they start sounding like each other. Very simple process, very repeatable. You can do this as many times as you want for any models that you want. And on top of this, I'm going to make sure that I take the existing system prompt that I use for my local GPT and I share it, so you don't have to go through this process if you don't want to. But yeah, I just thought that would be an interesting thing for people to see. So the system prompt is what tells your model how to behave. All models have system prompts. ChatGPT has one, Claude has one, Gemini has them. You just don't see them. They're hidden behind the interface. When you get a local model and you download it to your machine, it comes with the system prompt blank. So it's given no instructions whatsoever about how to actually answer you or respond to you. So if you wanted to have a personality and a style and a way of communicating with you that feels familiar, like the cloud models you might be used to, this is a great way to do it. You go back and forth with the model that you like until the two sound like each other, and then you're just using your local AI and you don't feel like you've lost anything in the experience. Either way, I hope that was helpful, and I'll post the system prompt that I use for GPT in the chat after this. So thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.